Alan Patton and Mark Davis back at Russ Gear Field in Villa Grove, ready to start the second half of play. And so far it has been all Bismarck-Henning. The Bismarck-Henning Blue Devils have 5 touchdowns. They've recovered 4 fumbles. They've intercepted 2 passes. And about the only thing they have not done right in the first half is kick a field goal. They had a bad mishandled snap on a field goal attempt, and they couldn't get the kick away. So that is about the only thing they have done wrong here in the first half. And for the Villa Grove Heritage Blue Devils, I think the words of Chad Musselman a couple weeks ago after the game against Cumberland, where he said about the only thing they did right or did consistently was fumble, have bad snaps, and commit penalties. And so far they've had the fumbles and the penalties here in the first half. They've been consistent with those, and that is not a good thing to be consistent with.
Yeah, we have Villa Grove here for 8 penalties for about 58 yards, 4 fumbles coming from Gavin Gunter and 3 unknown players. 2 interceptions from Gunter, who on the day is 8 for 12 for 85 yards and 2 interceptions and a fumble. On the other hand, Abbott has 3 touchdowns, Allen has a rushing touchdown, and Casey has a rushing touchdown. And we'll see this kickoff next.
And the kick is going to be taken at about the 25. Going to be taken by number 3, and that is Mitchell Harper. And he's going to be brought down. And let's see, it's going to be about the 30, maybe 30-yard line. So it's going to be Bismarck-Henning football, 1st and 10 at the Blue Devils 30-yard line. And 30-yard line. I had Bismarck-Henning for 197 yards rushing, 64 yards passing in the first half. Here's a handoff on the right side, and there is Donnie Powell. We talked the first half how he had not played in the first half, the area's leading rusher, and he gets 6 yards on the first play from scrimmage in the second half. Donnie Powell, a 5'10", 180-pound senior. He and Abbott have been the 1-2 punch in the backfield for the Bismarck-Henning team so far, but he has just now got into the ball game, and he's going to get a yard on the play. And it's going to be 3rd down and about 3 at the 37-yard line. Gave the stat line for Powell on the season. 131 carries, 1,465 yards, 12 touchdowns, averaging over 11 yards per carry. And here comes Dylan Dodd wide to the right side. 2 backs in the backfield behind Dylan Allen. He gives it off to Powell, and he is going to be stacked up at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. So Donnie Powell carries 3 times here to start the second half. Going to be 4th down and about 2 yards to go. So we said both teams are 7-1. They'll find out their playoff fate on Saturday night, the 25th. Bismarck-Henning's going to go for it on 4th and 2. Allen under center, and he's going to call a timeout. So we have a timeout called with 10 minutes and a second left to go in the third quarter. Bismarck-Henning leading 35-7. As I was going to say, the playoff pairings for all 8 classes will be announced on Saturday, October 25th. And both teams should, the winner will, right now it's Bismarck-Henning way out ahead, but they should have a good chance for a home game in the first round. And just looking at their opponents' victories, which is what they use usually sometimes to break ties or determine home field. They played Carmi White County. They have 5 wins. Paxton Buckley Loda has 4. Westville has 1. Salt Fork has 4. Oakwood has 2. Hoopston area Schlarman has 1. Georgetown has 6, and Milford has 6. So that's a pretty good count of opponents' victories. Villa Grove has 7. Here's a handoff to Abbott going around the left side. He fights his way. He's going to be close to a first down. But let's see where they spot the football. Villa Grove not in such good shape as far as opponents' victories. They're going to call it a first down. 9 first downs on the night for the Bismarck-Henning Blue Devils. So that's going to be out at the 41-yard line. Gain of about 3 for Abbott. 1st and 10 for the Bismarck-Henning Blue Devils.
Yeah, we see here in Douglas County we have Arcola standing at 8-0, Villa Grove 7-1, Tuscola 6-2, and we believe Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond is 5-3. So certainly some good Douglas County teams.
Here's a pass downfield. It's complete to Dylan Dodd. It looks like on the far side of the football field. He out-jumped a Villa Grove Heritage defender, and they're going to put the football at about the 32-yard line of Villa Grove Heritage. About a 27-yard gain from Dylan Allen to 32-yard line. Dylan Dodd. First and 10.
We see Bismarck-Henning with their great run game is able to every once in a while create some play action and get down the field.
Here's Powell running the football. He's going to have a first down and then some. So Powell very fresh after sitting out the whole first half.
Number 11 on the carry, Donnie Powell.
Yeah, it's going to be about the 15. About a 17-yard carry for Powell. That's going to be 1st and 10 at the 15. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Here's Powell to the right side. He cuts back up the field, and he's going to go in for the touchdown. Donnie Powell on a 15-yard carry runs the ball 5 times on this possession, about 40 yards. And it is Bismarck-Henning 41, Villa Grove Heritage 7 on a 15-yard run by Powell with 8:47 to go in the third quarter. And the point after kick is up by Dalton Duncan, and it is good. So Bismarck-Henning takes the second half kickoff, marches 70 yards, about 40 of those carried by Donnie Powell, who sat out the first half, and with a timeout on the field, 8:47 to go in the third quarter. It's Bismarck-Henning 42 and Villa Grove Heritage 7. Duncan set to kick off for Bismarck-Henning. Nathan Bradley, Dalton James back to receive. This is a short line drive kick. It's going to be taken about the 10-yard line by Bradley. He's going to fight his way up to about the 20, I call it the 25-yard line. We'll see where they spot the football. So we said it's been kind of hard to read the yard lines and the numbers. This is the Fight Like a Blue Devil game where they are raising money for breast cancer awareness. Pink is the theme tonight, and I think they painted the yard lines and the numbers in pink, so it's very hard to see. They're going to spot the football at the 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for VGH at their own 26-yard line. Gavin Gunter, the junior quarterback. He pitches left side to Max Daly. He breaks the tackle, cuts up field, and he's going to get maybe a couple on the play. Turned a potential loss into a gain of about 2.
On the tackle, number 40.
Yeah, let's see.
Nothing crack.
I'm going to call it the 29.
For Eric Rodriguez.
2nd and 7. And Daly, the ball carrier, he's stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
Max Daly on the carry.
Daly carried 10 times for 114 yards in the first half. He was aided by an 80-yard touchdown run. Ball at the 31. Going to be 3rd down and 5 for the Blue Devils. Daly carrying the football again. He's going to fight his way
Daly again on the carry.
up to about the 33. Going to be 4th down
On the tackle, 59.
and 3.
4th down.
And Parker Vollmer is going to punt the football for
In the punt, number 40.
VGH. He's punted twice. A little over 35-yard average, a little over 36 and a half, I think. Gets the snap, gets the kick away. It's a pretty high one, but not very deep. It's going to bounce at about the 35 and roll dead at the 33-yard line. Bismarck heading, so about a 34-yard punt.
3-yard line of Bismarck. They'll start there.
So the Bismarck Henning Blue Devils take over 1st and 10. 7:07 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Blue Devils lead, the Bismarck Henning Blue Devils lead at 42-7. And I think they're looking to get another touchdown, an extra point to give them a 40-plus point lead and trigger that running clock for the remainder of the football game. Bismarck Henning with the football. Here's Powell to the right side. And he's still on his feet, up across midfield, inside Villa Grove Heritage territory. He cuts back up toward the middle, and he's brought down at about the 20, inside the 25, to the 22-yard line of Villa Grove Heritage. So Donnie Powell, sitting out the first half, making up for lost time. In the second half,
Powell carries down to the 23-yard line.
about a 45-yard carry for Powell. He had at least get close to the 100-yard mark
Yeah.
here in the second half in about a half dozen carries. There's a carry over the left side.
That was Mo Abbott for about 2 yards right there. Yeah, certainly Donnie Powell has just come out in the second half, and we see why he has about 1,400 yards throughout the past of this season, and he's just coming out and running all over Villa Grove. Not able to really get their hands on him. He's got some quick moves downfield and just be able to fight through those big holes. And let's not underappreciate this Bismarck hitting offensive line. They have played really good tonight. That's why this running game has been so impressive.
Here's an inside handoff to John Casey. And he's going to get it to about the 15.
On the tackle, number
We'll see where they mark it. Going to be short of, oh, they're going to call it a first down.
First down for Bismarck.
Unofficially 14 on the night for the Bismarck Henning Blue Devils. And let's see. They're going to call it the 12-yard line. So an 8-yard carry for Casey.
Casey, the converted offensive lineman, has also had a very good night, coming from the number 50 down to 42, so he's eligible at running back. He's made his presence known with 5 carries for 51 yards and a touchdown. So he certainly played well tonight.
Encroachment against Villa Grove. That's about
Offside.
4
Villa Grove Heritage is called.
against the Blue Devils. 5-yard penalty. Going to be 1st and 5 at the 7. That's the 9th penalty for about 63 yards for VGH.
Yeah, Villa Grove is one of the best teams in the county and the state at shooting themselves in the foot. 4 fumbles, 2 interceptions, 9 penalties for 63 yards. Seems like every time they get some momentum, they just tend to kill it with a turnover or a penalty.
Here's a handoff over the right side. Looks like Powell is the ball carrier, and he is in for the touchdown.
Powell carries in for another Bismarck.
Donnie Powell for his second touchdown of the half on 7 carries. And it is now a 48-7 football game. And that will trigger the running clock for the remainder of the football game. Comes with 5:22 to go in the third quarter. Dalton Duncan to attempt the extra point. And the kick is up, and it is good. So we've got a timeout on the field with 5:22 to go in the third quarter. And the score, Bismarck Henning 49, Villa Grove 7. You're watching high school football on the DouglasCountyDigest.com high school football game of the week. Well, kickoff once again. This is a high one. It's coming to the near side, going to be taken by Dalton James at about the 16-yard line. He comes down the near sideline, gets out across the 40 to about the 41-yard line, and VGH will take over 1st and 10. 5:11 left to go in the third quarter, and the clock running, and the ball at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, when you look at number 11, Donnie Powell's measurables, they're not too impressive, just 5'10", 180 pounds. But he just uses his speed and just open field ability and really just agility and skill to just manage to get around defenders. And it's really kind of amazing what he does. Amazing stats this year, and already has some great ones tonight.
Here's a pitch to Bradley out to the right side. He's going to be dropped for a loss back at the 40-yard line. Loss of a couple for Bradley.
Down behind the line of scrimmage by number 34,
Mo Abed in on the stop. 2nd and 12 for VGH. Mannon to the left, looks like Stipp wide to the right, wingbacks to either side. Single set back behind Gavin Gunter. He's going to keep it himself. He gets up across the 45, out to near midfield, call it about the 48-yard line. Gain of 8 on the play for Gavin Gunter. That's his 6th carry. We have him for 13 yards on the night. Going to be third down and about 4 for VGH. Clock running. Here's a handoff over the left side of center. And let's see. Daly gets the carry. He's out to midfield. It's going to be a couple yards short. It's going to be 4th and 2 for the Villa Grove Heritage Blue Devils, and they'll coming in from the sideline is number 51, Kyle McColgan, and he replaces number 64, Jake Coffin, who had a fumble recovery earlier in the ball game. 4th and 2 for VGH. Gunter gives off to Daly, and he is going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. And Bismarck Henning will get the football on downs with about 2:45 left to go in the third quarter. And the ball sitting squarely. I mean, you can't be any more squarely on the 50-yard line. The ball resting with the white stripes on the football on either side of the 50-yard line. So that is right in the middle of the field. Bismarck Henning coming out in the white jerseys, the blue pants, the blue helmets. Dylan Allen still the quarterback for Mark Dodd's team. Here's a handoff to Powell around the left side. He gets away from one tackle. He's going to be stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
Number 11, Donnie Powell on the carry.
Cole Lemon got into the backfield and slowed him up.
Got some laundry on the field to the far side, a flag down. We'll see what the call is. Refs are meeting up about midfield.
Yeah, no gain on the play for Powell. That's the only time he hasn't gained yardage. He's rushed the ball 7 times for 92 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And holding against the Bismarck Henning Blue Devils. That's only their 3rd penalty for 30 yards on the night. But he 1st and 20 back at the Bismarck Henning 40-yard line. 1:20 left to go in the third quarter. Allen under center, pitches right side to Powell. He's going to get the penalty yardage back, and he gets back out to the 46-yard line. Well, call it the 45, Villa Grove Heritage. So he got about 15 of the 20 they needed. Going to be 2nd down and 5 at the Villa Grove Heritage 45-yard line. So Powell has carried 8 times. He's over 100 yards unofficially for the ball game. 2nd down, 5 in Villa Grove Heritage territory. Wing back in motion. Here's a fumble on the snap, a flag on the play. Fumble on the snap. Allen pulled away a little quickly. He fell on the football. Procedure against Bismarck Henning.
Bismarck is the call.
And so they got to walk it. Yeah, they're going to walk it off. Go back to the 50. 2nd and 10. And we're coming down to the final seconds of the 3rd quarter. And time will run out before Bismarck Henning runs another play in the 3rd period. We've come to the end of 3 here at Russ Gear Field in Villa Grove. The score, Bismarck Henning 49, Villa Grove Heritage 7.